Alright, ito na. Live na tayo mga kameta. Bago tayo pumunta dun sa mga studio interviews natin, ano, sabi ko, habol natin itong latest development. Ito na. Ito yung parati kong sinasabi. Na huwag niyo i-underestimate yung posibilidad na si Marcos Jr. will still settle for some sort of, well, settlement with the Dutertes. Alam natin na si Pangulo Marcos Jr., ito ay isang tao na as much as possible nag-avoid siya ng major conflict because after all, yung cautiousness niya at yung temperament na conflict avoidant niya, yun yung nagpanalo sa kanya eventually sa 2022 elections with the biggest margins ever since yung kanyang ama in the 1960s. No? And just as I said, at dito yung, kung maalala, dito yung slight disagreement natin with si Ronald Llamas, whom we're gonna have soon with Secretary Llamas. Of course, ang contention niya is, once the whole tambalos-los was mentioned, ito na, tapos na. Talagang it's a downward spiral from here. And wala na, medyo may mag-civil war mode na tayo and all of that. In fact, to be clear, the term civil war, that's what I used. But nevertheless, I always put a caveat. I said, wag natin i-underestimate etong posibilidad na Marcos Jr. at the end of the day will try to still strike a deal with the Dutertes to avoid a direct, full-scale confrontation. At the same time, sabi ko nga, wag din rin natin i-underestimate yung astuteness ng Duterte side to, even if magpakita sila ng gilas, mag-strong intervention sila and all of that, to eventually also try to find an accommodation. So mukhang by all indications, may konting accommodation na nangyari ngayon. The question is whether this will hold or not. Kasi mukhang nangyari dito is yung People's Initiative, yung push for charter change. Sa daming nagalit dyan from different sides of the political spectrum, from Mig Zubiri to the current president of the Senate, to former Speaker of the House, Pantaleon Alvarez, to a lot of people like Christian Munsud, na framers of 1997 Constitution, to all the way, maraming mga DDS, no? Sa daming nagalit, of course, si Pulong, for instance, si Robin Hood Padilla, sa daming nagalit dito sa Chacha and all of that. I think that somehow isolated si Martin Romualdez to a certain degree, no, and made it much more difficult na ipupush etong potential plans for charter change, no. Once again lang, i-off ko lang to. Yung mga pasaway, hindi nag-off ng mga phone nila. Anyway, speaking of pasaway, medyo inis na naman ako kasi kanina. Ayan na naman, nahuli ko yung TikTok, nagsisensor na naman sa atin. May pinopost akong snippet, by the way, ng interview natin kagabi with AFP Command's Colonel Mike Loico. Pinag-usapan natin yung sitwasyon sa Taiwan, pinag-usapan natin yung situation sa China. Ayan, hindi ko siya ma-upload. Nag-error siya 7 times ko siya in-upload, hindi pa rin lumalabas, no, yung TikTok videos natin yan. So medyo clear na may nangyayari diyan, no. At dahil for some reason also binablock yung screen recording ko, I use a secondary phone to video it. So obvious na something is going on there. Kasi pinag-usapan natin Taiwan, China, mga gerang ganun, na block ka agad. And then pinapaulit-ulit yung pagla-login ko. Alright, so mahal ko kayo mga ka-TikTokers, pero ito wala akong illusions, no, about some of the aspects of this TikTok. It's a fantastic platform for entertainment, a whole series of different discussions kaya ginagamit natin for life, but mukhang nahuli ko na naman sila at binidyo ko kanina paulit-ulit na hindi ko talaga ma-upload na yan. At inilog out pa niya ako at nagpapa-reconfirm pa ako bago pumasok, which is a very weird thing. It's like when you're trying to upload the video na kayo ng isang platform, ililog out ka, tapos ipapalog in ka. Twice ako pinapalog out and pa-log in. Lahat nga na screenshot natin and all. So, naman, suspicious time na naman. So, yung mga ka-TikTokers, mahal na mahal ko kayo, pero mamaya off ko na naman yung phone na yan. Ay, talagang... ang hirap talaga na situation natin. Anyway, balikan natin ito mga kameta. Yan na naman yung mga trolls natin dyan. Ito. So, two big things happened today. Sa isang banda, Sara Duterte essentially reiterated the centrality of mga Dutertes sa ating politika by specifically mentioning na Yeah, hindi niya sinabi presidency, pero sabi niya natatakbo na siya sa next election. So obviously that's not midterms election kasi vice-presidente na siya. Alam naman, she'll step down to a lower position. That would be weird. And that would mean she will have to cut her 6-year term. So obviously, ang pinag-usapan natin dito ay 2028. And speaking of 2028, of course, isa lang position na maisip natin para sa isang vice-presidente, and that's the presidency. So Sara Duterte, boom, boom, nagmarka siya kaagad at reminding everyone na be careful if be careful dun sa mga iba na are counting us out or want to cross us all the way kasi mabilis ang 5 years sometimes or maybe not, right? But the other important thing, and I think this indicates that behind the scenes, at least President Marcos Jr. also recognizes the importance and power and relevance of the Dutertes, is that President Marcos Jr., eto na naman, iba na naman ang position niya sa International Criminal Court. So, kung maalala niyo, over the past 48 hours, we had at least 2 vlogs discussing itong ICC issue na yan. So you had Senator Trillanes excitingly coming out there and saying, ito na, ICC, warrant of arrest, ito na, we're moving in that direction. Excited na lahat. And then, of course, nagkaroon tayo ng interview with Ruben Carranza, Attorney Ruben Carranza, international human rights lawyer and expert. At sabi niya, hinay-hinay lang kayo, pwede pa i-dribble yan ng administration or the administration anytime can withdraw its support and reset the deck. No? So, by latest indications, mukhang masyadong excited yata si Trillanes getting ahead of himself again. It looks like, as far as Marcos Jr. is concerned, he's hedging his bets once again. So, kung maalala nyo, last year, third quarter, sabi niya, no way we're gonna cooperate with ICC. And then, biglang iba yung inip ng hangin nung bumalik siya from United States and Hawaii. Sabi niya, okay, we're open into examining yung merits ng ICC. And then, nagpalitan naman siya ng tono most recently, sinasabi niya ulit, yung sinasabi niya, last year pa in the third quarter and second quarter, diba? And in the meantime, of course, you also have different statements coming out from the Department of Justice. Of course, ito yung isang departamento will be front and center in any possible execution or implementation of a arrest warrant or a major move dyan sa ICC na yan. So, going back to this issue, si Justice Remulla confirmed that ICC conduct investigations here, execute or whereas sorry, na-distract ko sa football doon. Warrant of arrest, hindi yan necessarily kinonfirm niya, but more or less that's a big move. But yun nga eh. So dito natin nakikita talaga, etong issue ng ICC, it's not a principal conviction thing for the current powers, the P. It's really about politics. It's really about leverage point. So ito yung latest statement galing from President Marcos Jr. Diba? Biglang iba yung inip ng hangin. Or more like bumalik dun sa dating direction ng hangin. So now naman, biglang iba yung sinasabi ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. Biglang hindi na masyadong open. Ngayon sinasabi niya, Philippines won't lift a finger to help any ICC investigation. Right? Now, if you look at it, that's still interesting because it means that they're not gonna actively block the ICC, but they're also not gonna help the ICC at all. At katulad ng vlog natin kahapon, dun sa interview natin with Attorney Carranza, kung walang kooperasyon ang host country, paano naman i-implement ng ICC? Kasi after all, it's an international body. So even if legally, morally, meron siyang jurisdiction, may punto yung sinasabi niya, kung walang kooperasyon, yung local authorities, ano mangyayari sa atin yan? And as I said, I doubt even that the ICC will come with a major move unless they're sure na there'll be a certain degree of cooperation on the part of the Philippine government. Ito, discuss natin ng shortly ito kasi mahalaga yan. So, it just confirms to you what we have been saying for quite some time, na i-dribble pa rin itong issue na yan. Pwede i-dribble itong issue na to. At as far as this issue is concerned, this is fundamentally about political calculus rather than a question of jurisdiction or sovereignty or anything like that. And of course, yung mga ibang kaibigan natin na patay pagdating sa sovereignty na tapos tahimik na tahimik. Oh, by the way, ano bang statement ni Sarah na yung mga natin dyan sa West Philippine Sea at mga pagbubuli nangyari? May statement na ba? Wala pa ako narinig. Ang tagal na. Medyo hindi lang bagong taon. Magfe-February na. Ito yung sinabi ni President Marcos Jr. I do not recognize the jurisdiction of the ICC in the Philippines. I consider this as a threat to our sovereignty. Therefore, the Philippine government will not lift a finger to help any investigation that the ICC conducts. However, as ordinary people, they can come and visit the Philippines, right? We do not recognize your jurisdiction, therefore will not assist in any way, shape, or form in any investigation that the ICC is doing in the Philippines. So, this is more like a pointed version of what Remulla was saying, which is, hindi na namin kayo i-block from coming to the Philippines, pero hindi rin namin kayong susuportahan just in case you move with warrants of arrest or some big moves. Now, you can interpret it whichever way you want. Bukas pag-usapan natin yan with Ronald Llamas and other experts. Anong ibig sabihin yan? But for me, this is still big. This shows you that as far as President Marcos is concerned, he's not approaching it from a principle standpoint. He's approaching this from a political calculus standpoint. Please lang, okay? Alright, then, okay. As I said, at ito yung problema ko dun sa mga ibang trolls at haters natin, whether Dilawan or DDS or whatever. You know, you have to learn to be able to think multiple things at the same time, and sometimes seemingly contradictory issues. But actually, for me, there's no contradiction. On certain issues where tama si BBM sa tingin ko, okay ako sa kanya. But may mga ibang issues na hindi siya tama, then i-point out natin yan. Ayan, yung mga ano dyan, yung mga concern dun sa Chopper Boy dun sa Chopper Boy na pumunta sa Coldplay. Yung mga concern sa EDSA. Saan kayo nung sabi ni tatay na wala siyang magawa sa EDSA traffic? At bahala kayo sa buhay niyo, ha? Saan kayo nung Caldero Boy? Yung million dolyares dun sa parang kaldero na ginawa sa saan kayo nung Farmali? You know, I can go on and on and on. So wag kayong magmalinis dyan, alright? Yan ang problema ko nowadays. May mga iba dyan na nagmamalinis na biglang for good governance, for transparency, for against corruption, nagbubuljakan. Ayan. Galit na galit kay Chopper Boy, galit na galit sa traffic. Ibang klase talaga yung lack of self-awareness naman ng iba dyan. Kamusta naman kayo? Anong ginagawa niyo nung time na walang naalala niyo, sinabi nung isang opisyalis dati, na by 2022, you can go from any city in Manila to the other in 30 to 40 minutes. Alam niyo sina yan, i-google niyo lang yan. Saan kayo nung daming mga nagalit dun sa kaldero na $1 million ba yun na ginastos dyan sa Southeast Asian Games? Saan kayo nung yung Farmali? I can go on and on. Yung mga confidential funds na malaki-laki, yung mga allocations dyan na malaki-laki. Di ba? I mean, yan ang sinasabi ko dyan eh. Nagmamaganda yung iba dyan na pag good governance and all. Tapos ito pa, kapal ba ng mukha na i-accuse pa yung ibang tao na enablers? Excuse me, I pointed out every problem with every administrations. I pointed out problems with Chacha move under this administration, under the previous administration. I pointed out the problems with Maharlika Fund. Hindi masyado siyang benta na medyo okay sa akin pagdating sa West Philippine Sea, for instance, at saka yung mga development ng ating mga international relations. So yung mga trolls dyan, tsaka yung mga walang self-awareness or hindi nag-iisip masyado, good luck na lang sa inyo. Maging troll na lang kayo forever. Ayan, hanggang troll ka lang, Totoy Bibo. Forever ka ng troll. Sorry naman sa 10 followers mo. Alright, yan ang sinasabi natin mga kameta, diba? Yan ang dami na biglang nagbubuljakan, nag-expose, yung mga ganun. Ang tanong ko, anong sinabi niya dun sa mga billion-billion na ninakaw ng panahon ng dictatorship? Alright? Na completely documented by everyone, including dun sa lahat ng mga experts and scholars, etc. Including dyan sa Estados Unidos. Tapos yung ibang tapang-tapang pa mag-expose, yan layo-layo sa picture. And then of course, pagdating naman dito sa etong Chopper Boy na yan, excuse me, sino nagpanalo sa kanya nung 2022 elections? Sino nag-Uniteam? Sino nagsama doon? Yan kasi, wala kasi total sense of self-awareness. Alright? Pagdating sa traffic, parati ko sinasabi, mag-isip naman kayo. Yung issue ng traffic, hindi mo yan maayos sa 6 months. Even if yun ang sinabi ni tatay noon. Diba? Medyo nag-iisip tayo, so hindi tayo maniwala sa mga ganyang paututo style na yan. And kung isang presidente, 1 taon lang or 2 taon lang, obviously hindi naman resolve lahat ng problema na yan. Yung presidente na 6 years in power, at parating sinisisi yung mga dating administration, all the way through 6 years, baka yun ang dapat titignan natin, anong achievement niya nung 6 years na sa pwesto siya. Anong ginawa niya para ayusin yung EDSA? Alright? Yun ang sinasabi ko, wala talagang self-awareness talaga yung iba dyan, di ba? Yung mga iba nag-usap na, oh, itong chacha, delikadong chacha, huwag tayong chacha, gano'n. Eh sila na nga yung excited mag-chacha nung dating panahon na problematic din at, maraming concerns also about pwede mambo-jumbo ng mga traffics yan. So yun yung masakit kasi mga kameta. Kung sino ang balanse, nagkikriticize sa iba't ibang administration, depende sa issue, depende sa mga impormasyon na meron tayo. Sino nagpo-point out? Yung pa yung tutorial ng mga iba-ibang tao from different sites. But guess what? Tumaas lang naman engagement natin eh. Tumataas lang naman yung mga followers natin eh. So, salamat din sa mga trolls natin dyan. Yan. Thank you very much sa trolls natin. Ito, labas natin kay tatay. Ano ba yung mga sinasabi ni tatay about... Ito. Oh, diba? Ito sabi ni tatay no? Solve na daw yung traffic natin nung 2019. Sino ba maniwala dyan? Oh, ito. Actually, 2021, sabi niya, solve na yung traffic natin, diba? Oh. Sinong sa atin naniniwala na na-solve yung traffic natin? Obviously, nung panahon ng sobrang pandemic and lockdowns, dahil sobrang konti ang pwede lumabas na tao, syempre temporarily, medyo bumaba yung ano. Pero no one in his right mind believes na na-solve talaga yung problem ng EDSA, traffic. Alright, nung panahon niya, 6 years in power. Not to mention, sabi ko nga, di ba may isang opisyalis nung time na yun, sinabi niya, pwede tayo pumunta anywhere by 2022, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, mga ganun. Oh, ano na? Nasaan na? Tapos sisisihin nyo si BBM na nandun lang yung power for over a year. So I'm just trying to be fair to the guy. Now, if after 4 or 5 years, ganun pa rin yung kalagayan, then i-blame ko si BBM. Right? Eh yung isa, 6 years eh. Hindi naayos yung EDSA. Tapos nag-claim pa siya na traffic problem solved. Eh di ba sabi niya 6 months lang, mawala yung crime, mawala yung traffic. So, mag-isip naman kayo mga guys. Mag-isip lang naman kayo. Yan ang problema ko sa ating bansa. Yan ang problema ko sa ating bansa. Yung mga ayaw makinig sa katotohanan, ayaw makinig sa balanced na analysis, ayaw makinig sa patriotic analysis. Ang gagawin nila, babastusin ka, isa-slander ka, kung anong sasabihin nila. Yun ang masakit sa atin eh. Kaya nga hindi tayo umangat eh. Hindi tayo umangat kasi purong kulto-kulto. Purong, ito yung tatay natin, doon na tayo no matter what. Lahat sisisihin natin. Sisisihin natin si Aquino nung 6 years tayo in power. Nung tapos na tayo, sisisihin natin si BBM na 1 year in power. Ganun ang gawin. Para lang, yung kulto natin, yun yung problema. Huwag tayo mag-fanatiko, mag-kulto-kulto mag-isip. Kaya nga sabi ko parate, let's criticize each administration on its own basis. Sabi ko, si Digo may mga ginawang maganda. For instance, yung pag-attack niya sa mga oligarchs. Maganda yan. Kailangan natin raising issue na yan. Pero, ano ba talagang ginawa niya sa mga oligarchs na yan? Hindi ba may mga Duterte-garchs din? Or, dun sa Mindanao, maganda yung ginawa niya sa Bangsamoro referendum. Pero anong ginawa niya pagdating sa reconstruction ng Marawi? Di ba sabi niya, I will make Marawi beautiful again. Now, ewan ko dun sa mga vloggers, yung mga basura, yung mga ganyan dyan. Ako kasi, I have to write about all of these issues, not for just mumbo-jumbo blogs or mumbo-jumbo buljakan, but actually I have to write on these issues for leading publications around the world. You just put yung name ko sa Google, lalabas. New York Times, Foreign Affairs, Washington Post, kasama pa yung journal. Now, the thing is, pag academic ka or nagsusulat ka sa academic publication or high level na publications, lahat fina-fact check. Every angle fina-fact check. At yun ang hindi nakikita dun sa mga pabuljakan, yung mga paek-ek na gano'n. At yun ang problema ko. Kung gusto nyo mag-grow, gusto nyo umangat-angat yung pag-iisip nyo sa buhay, makinig kayo sa mga tao na nagsasabi ng katotohanan, even if ayaw nyo makinig. Pero kung gusto nyo hanggang forever na lang kayo panatiko at kulto-kulto, tapos magta-troll lang kayo sa akin, ang masasabi ko lang sa inyo, yung 6 years na nasa power kayo, wala kayong nagawa. Alright? So, huwag kayong mag-ambisyon. Alright? And the other thing is, thank you, pinapataas nyo lang yung engagement natin. But at the same time, I want to tell you this. Laos na kayo, alright? Good luck sa inyo. Alright? Because kitang-kita natin dito sa mga different platforms, people want to have intelligent discussion. People want to level up. People want to learn. And never ko naman sinabi na perfect ako eh. I mean, some things I get right, some things I get wrong. But thankfully, thank God, we got many things right. Kaya medyo kampante tayo sa analysis natin, di ba? I kept on saying, mga kameta, going back to topic natin today, mga kameta, di ba sinabi ko, na do not underestimate yung ability ng Duterte and Marcoses to still keep things on an even kill, to avoid a total confrontation, because it's the interest of both sides. Because BBM cannot afford more conflicts at home, he has to focus on other issues. The other side naman, mukhang medyo na-gets nila na hindi sila kasing powerful as before, so they rather sue for some sort of ceasefire and then come back stronger later on. And that is precisely the context within which Sara Duterte made this statement na may plano siyang talagang tumakbo sa 2028 election. And obviously, she's talking about the presidency. And as I said, yes, nakikita natin na lumalakas yung mga katulad ni Rafi Tulfo. There could be also third candidates out of nowhere. I don't know, Rizon Diverse could be an option there, right? But do not underestimate the Dutertes. They're still very powerful. See, I'm fair ako eh, di ba? Hindi naman tayo hater katulad ng iba. We're fair, right? I think objectively speaking, Sara Duterte is still very, very powerful, right? Or at least, yun yung tingin ni BBM. Kaya nga nagdadalawang isip si BBM dito sa issue ng ICC na yan. Alright? Sinabi pala ni Sara ito sa Bisaya. So, hindi ko masabi sa Bisaya kasi nakakaya. Baka magkamali ako dyan. So, out of respect, sasabihin ko na lang yung English translation nung sinabi ni Sara Duterte. Okay, yung sinabi ni Sara Duterte is, they might not run in the next, so that's why I'm here to campaign because I'll be running for the next elections. Ito yung sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte dun sa kanyang speech sa Barangay Bago Galera sa Davao City. Alright, so that she heard her brothers, si Baste and Pulong, they will not be seeking another term. Well, pagdating naman sa mga Duterte, alam natin, pag sinasabi na hindi sila tatakbo, most likely tatakbo sila. But regardless, at least, as far as Sara Duterte, the Vice President is concerned, and still considered as a front runner for 2028 election is concerned, she made it very clear she's gonna run for that. So she's making it very clear na wag nyo siyang i-underestimate, right? And this comes just as President Marcos Jr. also says, pagdating sa ICC, we're not gonna help them. So yung mga excited na magkaroon ng warrant of arrest, yung mga excited na magkakaroon ng any big move in the near run, curb your enthusiasm. And this was precisely the context of my conversation with Attorney Ruben Carranza kahapon. So I hope you also appreciate that. Kasi yun nga yung problema ko. One of the challenges dito sa vlogging is that, you want to keep people hopeful, you want to keep people excited, you want to keep people engaged. So may tendency yung iba na magiging demagogic, populist, or papolitico. So they raise expectations too high. Kagad. And you're just setting up people for disappointment if you do that. What we need talaga, mga kameta, is to raise critical thinking, to raise yung level ng pag-intindi sa mga komplikadong issue. Kasi wala naman perfecto eh. So, walang presidente na perfect. Pero some presidents are way worse than others. So you have to have a balanced analysis, right? And some presidents became president when times are better than other presidents. So you also have to balance that, right? And at the same time, pagdating sa politika, alright, pagdating sa politika mga kameta, this is the Philippines, all right? We have to be realistic. Conviction and principles, unfortunately, are not the primary currency of politics in this country. It's always pragmatism. And pragmatism comes in many ways. There's a Dilawan pragmatism, there's a DDS pragmatism, and now there's a BBM version of pragmatism. And pragmatism itself can actually evolve over time depending on conditions internally and externally. Kaya nga, proper political analysis is not marites, chismisan, kampo-kampo, kulto-kulto. It is taking all of these variables into consideration, synthesizing them, and giving a proper analysis. Yan. Hindi pwede pulvoronic yung mga analysis. Alright? Dapat talaga tinitignan mo yung mga iba't ibang mga angulo ng isang issue. So, it looks like for now, there is some sort of a fragile ceasefire between Duterte's and Marcos's. And I think as far as BBM is concerned, he's trying to say, no, Uniteam is still there. Hindi na walang Uniteam. I don't think things are the same as before, but I also do not think that we're immediately moving towards a total conflagration and all of that. So, interesting to see paano yung mga followers ni Digong at saka mga DDS na attack mode kay BBM. Alright, tignan natin ang mga gagawin nila. Alright, in the coming days or so. Kasi baka may stand down order na ngayon. Or tuloy-tuloy itong mga pulvoronic vlogs and videos and attacks and all. Let's see. Interesting times. On that note, thank you very much mga kameta. Sorry, I have to go to work. Tuloy-tuloy itong mga engagements natin. There's so much to discuss here and around the country. Alam niyo naman, pagdating sa atin, my primary love is international affairs, global affairs. And, I mean, hindi naman, this is a serious engagement, right? Hindi naman tayo mga pa-blogger effect lang. Diba? If you want to do proper high-level international affairs analysis, you talk to leading experts from around the world. You engage with people. Tayo naman ang mga natin lang. Anyway, I wanted to na. Mag-behave na lang tayo. On that note, thank you very much mga kameta. Salamat and sana TikTok huwag na naman censor yung mga China na Taiwan stuff natin. But at least tuloy-tuloy itong mga live natin. God bless. Talk to you soon. And please, please everyone follow nyo ako sa different platforms sa Richard Haydarian 007, yeah, Feeling James Bond sa TikTok. Of course, dito also sa Facebook, Richard Foronda Haydarian. And sana naman guys, tuloy-tuloy yung support nyo sa YouTube rin para makuha na natin yung verification. Kasi alam niyo, may threshold for verification. So the more of you follow us, the faster hopefully we can get verification. And of course, yung play and everything like that. Really need that. Salamat mga kameta. Thank you sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa atin. And please go to my YouTube channel, Richard Haydarian Vlogs. Doon natin in-upload ang mga finalist version ng mga vlogs and podcast natin. Of course, also on Spotify and Apple. Just follow us. And please support, konting support. I really appreciate that. Libre lang naman mag-follow and subscribe. Alright? Walang bayad, libre lang yan. Thank you very much. God bless and talk to you soon. God bless. Thank you very much. Thank you, boss.